been made in Canadian basketball. One hand down, all over the defense.
One-hand cockback.
Oh! Bringing the fans to their feet, putting a man in the rim.
Ain't that awesome? Oh my Lord!
Welcome to the NPA on NPA.
Jason Tom back with you. Did I miss anything? Halifax Prep hung for a half with Crestwood. Second half, a little bit of reality set in. The reality now is that the champs are here. Going to ignore the game starting with 2 air balls, Tristan. But the champs are here. Canada Top Flight Academy has made the trip southwest down the 401. They're here to take on SJK. Game 6 of 7. Day 2 of 4. Game 13 to 21. From downtown, Javon Westgarth checking in from the land beyond. $3-0 for CTA, taking on SJK out of the Kitchener area. Nice dish down low, JD Muya. Muya is going to have a big body to contend with. In Alex Novicic. Just over a minute into the opening quarter. Jason Tom here alongside Daniele Franceschi.
A little late to the party there, Jason.
It's okay, I can't hear you in my headsets anyways.
Our technician, I'm sure Mike Dotto's on it.
By the way, what happened? I stepped away for a game. We're suddenly now 40 minutes behind schedule.
Well, there was a lengthy delay at one point. They were disputing a number of different things, amongst them timeouts and fouls. And
you know what I think I was most surprised about being able to take in that game as a spectator? It's fun to kind of sit back. They tell you to do that at your wedding as well, which I got to do. And, you know, try not to see it just from one angle. See it from a couple of different angles. And there's a couple of things that struck me. One, I swear that a team will argue fouls no matter the situation. I saw a team that was leading by 41 points arguing fouls. 2, I understand being pumped up about a nice play. But when you're trying to dunk on people for 6 consecutive trips down the floor and you get hung on the rim, and you finally dunk on someone, you should not be allowed to stare them down.
I agree with that.
You should get back on defense. You should do that up 40 anyways.
I agree.
But I mean, if you get hung on the rim, I mean, you're trying to dunk and you're making a fool of yourself, and then you finally connect, that's not an opportunity to then finally get your death stare down. And sorry, one more thing.
Just a few takeaways.
I love our coaches. Love our volunteers. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes timeouts get messed up. In a close game, there is no excuse for that. If you're up 40 or down 40, and suddenly you find yourself with a less timeout, 0 timeouts, whatever it is, don't argue with the officials. Don't show up the score table. Because you're up or down 40, if you really need a timeout that bad in that situation, I don't know, create some type of disruption that allows you, diversion, to allow you to talk to your team up 40, down 40. All right, I'm off my soapbox. It's a good thing that I'm usually on the headsets, so I don't have time to take in all this other stuff.
No, you're on point. You're on target, on task with that one. Even during the broadcast, and a couple times I looked over at Mike and kind of grimaced, and just don't appreciate seeing that type of showmanship, and there's no need for that. And to your point with the timeout situation, and it's even the instance with the technical, and just some unnecessary things occurring when the game was, at that point, the outcome was already, pretty much secure.
Timeout early on for Ahmed El Asta. 9-2, CTA jumps out to an early lead. We'll be back after a short break.
Looking to beat the buzzer. Stick back jab, Jacoby Neath.
Hey! Let's go, man. Good pick, boy.
Transition, Shaheem Malcolm. Oh, someone checked that ball for a bruise. With the steal.
Blowing past everybody. AJ Lawson.
Let's go, bro.
In transition, throwing it down. Off the backboard to Sean Henry.
Shaheem Malcolm letting everybody know the Riverhawks have taken flight. Just over 3.5 in. SJK need an early timeout to regroup. DeAndre Fordyce.
It's a nice pass along the baseline. Aiden Jackson with the delivery.
Moon Reese down low. David Muya. JD Muya. Got some shooters on this SJK squad. Haven't started out strong from range. For a couple of games there, they had the league leading scorer with Branko Damjanovic just lighting it up over his first 2 games of the season.
Moon Reith, no stranger to the NPH family and the NPA circuit. He's a young guy who now in his 10th grade season, starter on this CTA team, a team that's obviously the defending champions, and now they're going to be looking to defend their title, and they're going to look for a lot of production from a young player in Moon Reith, who's got some tremendous tangible skills in his size, his length, his athleticism.
Wow. Coach Tony House ain't gonna like that. He had 4 black jerseys underneath the rim, but SJK comes out with a putback.
Ooh, how about that?
Luala caught.
There's another guy. Hails from Ottawa, but man, he's been on the national scene and for a number of years and familiar with his game.
Damjanovic just doesn't have that release point on yet.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful idea.
Sometimes I don't know with those passes if it's they see something that we don't see, or if they just have the
floater alert in the lane.
They
It's a
just
nice
have the lack of conscience to try to throw that pass. I know I've been talking about my love for the smaller point guards, but also have an affinity for Aiden Warnholtz. An old school PG, pass first, high IQ in the classroom and on the court.
You like to see that. Certainly don't want to see those become obsolete.
Yeah,
Guys
exactly.
like that.
But then, can also hit knock down the open shots. Reminds me of a little longer version of Kevin Pangos. Shout out Can't Miss Kid, Chris Dooley, available via Chris Dooley's Twitter.
See Coach Dooley around this week.
Big CTA supporter.
He's been coming out and showing some love, and it's all about coming out and networking and chatting it up with people.
Warnholtz D'd up by Aiden Jackson.
I like it. I like his energy. Aiden Jackson.
And SJK, man, again, a team with just 9 players, but every one of them provides something special to this team. I think we're seeing a CTA squad that is trying to work out its bus legs.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, has the look of a team that's been locked in a bus for 5.5, 6 hours, making the trip up to North York and Crestwood Preparatory College. And they were here about an hour and a half ago, and they took in most of our previous game between Crestwood and Halifax Prep. As a coach, Jason, I'm curious. I mean, what would you do in a situation when you're, CTA? Obviously, they made the trip today, but does it make sense to maybe spend the night? Would it have made sense to, say, hey, okay, we're coming down early, and just to mentally prepare yourself? Or there's pros and cons, of course, to both sides.
I think for this age group, I think you travel the day of.
Yeah.
I think there's just too much that can go on. Kids of this age, booking a hotel or an Airbnb.
Sure.
They could come down the day of. It's another,
It's another expense.
Yeah, and especially for basketball teams, like every one of these teams are going to or have had to travel the day of a game. So I think the more often you do it, and I'm sure a lot of these coaches do it, I hope they kind of speak to their players on how to do it, like what to do to make sure that you can either stretch out properly or, on the back end of it, getting back into a bus after the game. I think there's, we always talk about off-court stuff as well, and I think that's a part of it. How do you prepare? Game day preparation when you're at home is one thing. Game day preparation on the road's another, right?
Absolutely, and I think the measure of a really good team is how you play on the road, outside of your comfort zone. And you hear coaches all the time, coaches at college level, coaches at the NBA level, you hear them talk about it all the time, constantly. You reveal your true character when you're on the road, when you're put in those hostile environments, when you're playing outside of your comfort zone. And, even for SJK, they made the trip today, and they're coming, that's a lengthy trip just in their own right.
Absolutely.
So, fresh legs, jet lag, bus legs, whatever you want to call it, that's a reality, and you have to find ways to fight through it.
Aiden Jackson trying to fight through the D. Foul called. I think that's Ali White. Picked it up. (17-10) CTA with a 7-point lead.
CTA straight man-to-man. Good defensive rotation by the big fella down low. Ali White coming over, providing some secondary help along the baseline, and it results in a turnover.
1:27 to go here. Warnholtz over to Moon Reef. Atik Jalal Back in his hometown of Toronto, Ontario, spent last year with St. Michael's College when they were a member of the NPA. Damjanovic, Novicic, Ron 2.
It's a good shot. Expanding his range a little bit and varying the jumper.
Back the other way, back and forth affair right here. A little sloppy.
I mean, from its inception, CTA has been a team that has seen constant improvement and evolution. They've evolved and they continue to grow. Even though they're the reigning, defending NPA champs, you see a lot of growth. And Tony Howe's a very demanding coach, but he's got this program trending, still trending in a more positive direction.
Kick ball. SJK got to be happy, hang him just down 2. Jalal.
Open look.
Pull-up jumper. 17-15 CTA after the opening 10 minutes. Stay with us. We'll be back. The NPA on NorthPoleHoops.com.
The first and only NPA championship banner currently hangs in our nation's capital, the home of Canada Top Flight Academy. But it didn't come easy for Ottawa's only boys prep basketball program, who lost the first 5 games in the program's history before a team meeting put them on the path to making Canadian basketball history.
It was a pretty rocky start for us, coming into our first year as a team and as a program. We started off losing 5 games in a row. It was tough. Everybody wasn't in the greatest mindset.
That's the meeting that just changed everything. We were straight up with each other. We were all honest, and then we got better as a team. The chemistry got better, and then we started winning games, and we became confident.
Ended up winning 13 in a row, and then it was just a great finish to have come out on top as the first ever national champions.
As a founder, as someone who just started this, prep school, you have a vision, and to see it come to fruition sort of in the first year, it was one of the biggest thrills in my life. Being an Ottawa guy, so proud at every level. The Ravens and the Ottawa UGGs, obviously the club system with Ottawa Elite. Now you add ourselves in the mix with the prep schools. We're seeing again a lot of the hard work, pay off.
Like any championship-level team, CTA is now working even harder to stay atop the National Preparatory Association, while continuing to give Ottawa area basketball players a chance to stay at home and rep a city that never seems to get the respect it deserves in basketball circles.
Thought was always in the back of my mind about, getting to grade 11 and 12 was, am I going to have to go away? And I think Ottawa basketball has just been continuing to come on the rise, and with this program that Tony put in place, it's just only going to get better and become more successful. And it's just awesome to be part of that.
At first, I didn't know where to go. I was really done. I thought that my basketball career was done. I was trying to go to another prep outside of Ottawa, but my mom didn't want me to go anywhere. She wanted me to stay home. It's not like you're going to get an offer from a high school in Ottawa. And then when the prep came out, when Tony Howe created the prep, that really helped me out as a player.
We are the defending champs. We know that, we've got to be better than we were last year. It's just about preparation, and we feel pretty confident that with the staff and with the new recruits that we've got, we're going to defend, and we're going to try and win another one.
.105 gone. (19-15). CTA up 4 right now. 19-15.
SJK hanging around and did a good job in that first quarter. You see CTA look a little sloppy at times in that opening frame, and perhaps still trying to just find a rhythm.
Undefeated on the season as CTA. They went 4-0 on their home floor in the Ottawa session, the battle in the capital. They also beat Toronto Basketball Academy. But looking at their schedule for the New Year Challenge, I knew it was going to be tough on them. No easy games, really. They'll be taking on SJK today, tomorrow LBA, and then Crestwood. So, I mean, if you had to pick out a murderer's row of NPA teams, that would be a perfect example. Shout out my new favorite member. He's a longtime member, my new favorite member of the NPH squad, Tristan. This guy gets it.
I'll take a look at that.
On top of everything.
Absolutely.
Love that guy. 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. Branko Damjanovic getting into the lane. You know, this is a tough matchup for CTA because they're taking on a team that has, you know, size really at every position and skill at all those positions. And now CTA, you know, they have a lot more length than their opponents most of the time, not necessarily that girth and width. And this SJK squad, like, for lack of a better term, they're thick.
Yes, a very underrated SJK squad. And as you said, Jason, lots of size and strength at every position. And the one thing, you look, they're agile.
Yep.
They're moving up and down the floor and creating opportunities, and we're not seeing them just operate in a specific set.
I think teams underestimate this SJK squad. I mean, I've
do.
talked to teams, even after they lose to them, and the first thing they say is like, oh, you know, we should have won that game, we want a rematch. And, you know, when you hear it once, you're like, okay, and when you hear it a couple of times, you're like,
but no,
maybe they're just better than you right now.
You got to be doing something right to win games.
And, you know, I know I've talked about it a couple of different times, but that's what I love about the NPA. Like, it's, you know, I almost liken it, you know, it's a lot like FIBA basketball, international basketball. Another reason why I'm a fan of that. It's, you know, every team has their own style, you know, they all have their own look, and it's very, very cool.
They have their own personality.
Like,
every team has their own.
Yeah, there's not one team that is similar to another team in this league. Where I find in the high school circles sometimes you do get that.
Well, it's a copycat game.
Well, hey, that's working. Let's do it, right? Yeah.
Right, so you're trying to emulate, especially at the high school level, where it's, for the most part, you know, you have a lot of volunteer coaches, you have a lot of, you know, these educators, teachers who might be volunteering their time, and it's a copycat type of game, and resources and things of that nature, so you're trying to find what works.
Absolutely. Jimmy Omino from the land beyond. 2-point lead for CTA. David Muya back out. Moon Reese.
Oh, wow. That length.
Every time I see him, there's something else I see, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know. I get it now.
Check off that box.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
An explosive move to the basket.
Yeah. But he has to D up Jimmy Omino right now, and it's a difficult cover. Oh, sorry, that was Lulla Cott D'ing up. That was Moon Reese going the other way. JD Muya, the guy, you know, he's cut from the old school cloth of big men. He's a guy that, you know, you don't want to foul him too hard too many times. He has a look about him that, you know, where he grew up, you know, I don't want to say he's a loose cannon at all. He's a very nice young man, but I just feel like in the heat of the game, if you hit him one too many times in a way he didn't like, you'd be feeling it back pretty darn quick. He brings an edge to this squad, this CTA squad, that not all teams have.
No, absolutely. And we were talking about that in regards to Beast Prep yesterday, and all of a sudden you see they had a guy like Anthony Bradshaw and flip a switch, different mentality, different personality. And you're looking at a team that was playing with grit and some tenacity today. Take a peek at the CTA roster. A lot of homegrown talent. And that's exciting to see, especially when you got guys like Moon Reese and Luol Acott. Nice finish underneath by David Muya.
Muya is he kind of surprises me with what he can do, kind of, mid-air. He's a lot more agile than you would expect out of somebody like him. I think he has really good footwork as well. I still think, when it comes to big man, Sammy Hunter of BC Christian still has the best footwork in this league. But I've also found that a lot of other guys have really been working on that, and I wonder if it is, again, it's the iron sharpening iron, where, you see other guys in this league of your size and stature and what they can do, and you're like, okay, I guess I should probably work on that aspect as well.
You see the way these guys are running the floor, these big guys for CTA. I mean, we saw, Moonreath at 6'5", 6'6". You got...
What's this going to be?
Offensive.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, Atik Jalal makes a living, not literally, obviously, but really makes a living out of drawing charges down there.
And that would be some sort of violation.
Yes, it would be. But, he's lost a good amount of weight since last year, which is a good thing. But, still plays with that big man body.
Wow.
Ooh, step back. No good. Very nice release from Moonreath despite the miss.
And speaking of weight, I'd like to see Moonreath kind of bulk up a little bit.
It's so difficult with those guys, man. Like, we've talked about it before, and, I don't know how to project what they can be, but, a lot of it is, genetics and DNA.
Yep. For sure.
I look at those guys, and I immediately think of the makers.
Oh, wow. Wow, you just see the potential right there. He comes over, and the length, that wingspan.
But both he and Luella Cott, same body type, right?
Absolutely.
Thin down low, thin up top.
Yes.
But like the thing about those body types is you can't bulk them up in certain areas if you attempt to, and this is the hardest part.
Well,
if they can bulk up in areas where you don't want them to bulk up, because if they carry too much of that weight, all of a sudden you're going to have stress fractures in the feet. You're going to have knee problems, ankle problems.
This is the thing, when you get to the next level, if you can't hang physically, that's why.
But I always go back to the Kevin Durant can't bench press 185 pounds, right? Remember that?
Kevin Durant's something different.
I know, but at that point, he was still, prospect Kevin Durant. But do you remember that in the NBA Combine?
Yeah, no.
He can't bench 185. It was the
biggest knock.
Crazy. And there was guys that were like, well, if you can't do that, and then... And I completely get you. I know Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant, but I always think back to that because I was covering the NBA at that time, and it was like a big deal. And like reporters were like, "Ooh, that's a red flag." And I mean, I didn't know Kevin Durant enough any more than anybody else, right? You saw him what he did in Texas, and you're like, okay.
It's like the NFL Combine, the same kind of deal. Everybody puts so much stock into the 40.
Yeah.
Right. How much can you bench press? The 40. How many of those skills are really translate? I mean, even if you're talking about guys in their 40 times, sure, that's a measure of the speed and explosiveness, but all those other measurables, are they really valid? Oh, nice steal.
CTA doing what they do, extending that lead to double digits. Wesker. Nice pat. Ooh, Jalal, good hands. SJK cutting it off at the rim, but they're allowing that perimeter to be open. Getting lucky. Damjanovic pulls it down. Sorry, that was not Damjanovic. Roknic to Damjanovic. Yuskevich. There's not a Yuskevich, just throwing it out there. It's a 90s hockey reference. Dmitry Yuskevich. Maple Leaf, former Maple Leaf. Mike Dotto with the rare Maple Leaf reference out of myself. Dotto confirming. Timeout.
We'll be back. Short break, 14-point lead.
We've traveled across the country and back. 6 years running. Canada's basketball talent blossoms right before our eyes. From coast to coast. It's our job to bring it to the light. No gimmicks, just hard work on the hardwood. Who will step up to the plate this summer? Who will make their game undeniable and challenge every man in front of him? Game will speak.
Yet again, a 10-point advantage restored for Team Blue. Oh! It's Judy Georges throwing it down!
Welcome to the NPH live broadcasting experience. Allow our team of video technicians to capture your event in high definition. Streaming directly on all NPH media platforms. Up to the minute.
2:02 left, 36-22 lead for the defending champs, Canada Top Flight Academy, taking on SJK out of the Kitchener-Breslau area.
Strong move. Able to draw a foul.
Roknich at the line. Taking a look at Aiden Warnholtz chatting up the official. Veteran point guard move. Look at the smile on the kid. He knows how to talk to the officials.
Trying to warm himself up.
Take note at home, kids.
Oh, good pass.
That would be my suggestion to the kids at home when it comes to officials. Use the first half to warm yourself up to them. Very rarely is there a foul call in the first half that's going to affect the outcome of the game. But if you warm yourself up to them in the first half, when the game hangs in the balance, pretty important to be on their good side.
Exactly. You don't want to get on their bad side. Ooh, dangerous pass. Wow. Talk about Moonreath. Long, athletic. He glides up and down the floor, makes a nifty move to avoid a couple of defenders and finish in traffic. And CTA starting to put their foot down a little bit, and as this lead stretches to 17 now. Good rebound, Moonreath. Oh, now you see the potential. Ooh, we're talking about Kevin Durant. And the way he's built, oh my goodness.
I know, I saw that coming. I mean, if Moonreath turns the ball over, he's going to block that shot coming back the other way or die trying.
And he knows he's got to atone, right? If you make a mistake, he atones, and he's going to get a breather here. But
that's exactly. Tony House just said to him, high five, and said, good job. You know, like, you're never going to say good job after a turnover unless something like that happens, right?
You see SJK maybe trying to apply some pressure, but the versatility of CTA is very, very impressive because you have, not only do these guys have size, but the skill set is just tremendous, and their ability to dribble the basketball, to operate in space. You're not looking at traditional big guys who need to get the ball under the basket. And these are guys who are 6'6", 6'7", and can really flourish and thrive in the open floor. timeout on the floor. SJK trailing by 14.
A reminder, we got Toronto Basketball Academy taking on London Basketball Academy after this one. That will be the finale of our 7-game set today. That one's scheduled to tip off at 7:30.
7 games. Lengthy schedule and 2 more days to power through. 21 in total over a 4-day span.
Tomorrow's a breeze. 5 games. Starting up at 10:30 in the morning. Everyone gets to sleep in.
Some great basketball today, though.
Really, if these are long days, especially the first 2 are pretty long, but I mean, if anything can energize you, it's the games that we've had today, up until the blowout, our last game, but still, that was a good first half, and then obviously we still have TBA and LBA today.
We've had one bad half of basketball, if you will.
Yeah, very good point.
So I would say that's a win.
And tomorrow we got 5.
We witnessed history with Halifax Prep winning their first game in program history and getting on the board in the NPA.
Just battling.
I'd hate to go into those tall trees down there and all of a sudden CTA, even when you think you may have a driving lane, you're meeting a body and the extension with, that's looked like a bit of a push off there by Wallacott.
5 seconds left. SJK looking to finish strong. They still got time. Ooh. 40-25. SJK just can't get it going offensively as of yet. We're at the half. 5-minute break. We'll be back. Second half action from Crestwood Preparatory College.
The first and only NPA championship banner currently hangs in our nation's capital, the home of Canada Top Flight Academy. But it didn't come easy for Ottawa's only boys prep basketball program, who lost the first 5 games in the program's history before a team meeting put them on the path to making Canadian basketball history.
It was a pretty rocky start for us, coming into our first year as a team and as a program. We started off losing 5 games in a row. It was tough. Everybody wasn't in the greatest mindset.
That's the meeting that just changed everything. We were straight up with each other. We were all honest, and then we got better as a team. The chemistry got better, and then we started winning games, and we became confident.
Ended up winning 13 in a row, and then it was just a great finish to have come out on top as the first ever national champions.
As a founder, as someone who just started this, prep school, you have a vision, and to see it come to fruition sort of in the first year, it was one of the biggest thrills in my life. Being an Ottawa guy, so proud at every level. The Ravens and the Ottawa UGGs, obviously the club system with Ottawa Elite. Now you add ourselves in the mix with the prep schools. We're seeing again a lot of the hard work, pay off.
Like any championship-level team, CTA is now working even harder to stay atop the National Preparatory Association, while continuing to give Ottawa area basketball players a chance to stay at home and rep a city that never seems to get the respect it deserves in basketball circles.
Thought was always in the back of my mind about, getting to grade 11 and 12 was, am I going to have to go away? And I think Ottawa basketball has just been continuing to come on the rise, and with this program that Tony put in place, it's just only going to get better and become more successful. And it's just awesome to be part of that.
At first, I didn't know where to go. I was really done. I thought my basketball career was done. I was trying to go to another prep outside of Ottawa, but my mom didn't want me to go anywhere. She wanted me to stay home. It's not like you're going to get an offer from a high school in Ottawa. And then when the prep came out, when Tony House created the prep, that really helped me out as a player.
We are the defending champs. We know that, we've got to be better than we were last year. It's just about preparation, and we feel pretty confident that with the staff and with the new recruits that we've got, we're going to defend, and we're going to try and win another one.
right down the lane with the slab. It's in running. Here's Akkad.
Euro step.
Akkad dancing on him.
Ooh, wow. Smooth.
Akkad. Wow.
Another one.
And that is a big-time shot by Luel Akkad. Casey comes out, he gives it up, but Moonreath is open. Luel says, who cares?
Wow!
Who cares?
Luel
Wow.
Akkad over AJ Lawson. This is a heck of a performance from Luel Akkad.
Everyone has their story. What's yours? Were you born with the ball in your hand?
9:53 on the clock here in the third quarter. SJK at the line looking to cut into this 15-point lead. Jason Tom here alongside Daniele Franceschi.
Talk about an animated halftime huddle. SJK.
Let me guess, Ahmed El Asta.
You guessed it. Could be heard from a mile away.
A background on Coach El Asta. Grew up in the Windsor area. As a result, huge fan of the Detroit Pistons. Huge fan of the 80s Pistons. The coaches that have walked the sidelines for the Pistons. Takes that style with him as he coaches his team.
To be fair, those 80 Pistons were, those teams in the 80s were very good.
Yes.
Very good. You have Isaiah Thomas, you have Joe Dumars, you have a lot of these transcendent figures, and man, they were a team that was physical and tough, trying to put that same imprint on this SJK team.
Damjanovic didn't like that call.
Clock, 24 here.
Aiden Warnholtz running things for CTA. Ooh, pull-up three. So confident with the shot. You know, we talk about it all the time when it comes to jump shots, repeatable motion. And Aiden Warnholtz, I mean, you could take that jumper right there and compare it to him at the Nationals last year, and it's the exact same shot.
You see Coach El Asta trying to direct traffic. Gets it down inside. Roknick deep into the shot clock. They were trying to create that opportunity the whole duration of that possession.
Westgarth Did a good job with the head and shoulder fake, but then ended up kind of walking directly into the defender's body.
It couldn't create space, and was a good move, but just couldn't create space. Good job defensively there.
Novicic, who's been silent. Alex Novicic has been silent. We've seen him have some outstanding games, but that high release point, gets the ball at his shoulders, goes directly up with the shot. But we've also seen him kind of disappear at times, and so far this is one of those games while JD Muya never disappears. That guy has an impact on one end of the floor or the other consistently.
And you just see the length of Lualacott and Moonreath, and that's tough. I mean, they occupy so much space. It's difficult to generate any penetration whatsoever.
And you saw it right there. I mean, SJK went nowhere using that entire shot clock.
They gave up nothing.
Ooh, nice finish. Javon Westgarth.
He's quite the gamer.
Yeah, like very good layup package.
You saw some of that elusiveness there, able to slice into the middle of the lane. And
that's a foul.
You know what? You have to have that mentality. Aiden Jackson saying, okay, you know what? We just wasted a couple of possessions, didn't generate any offense whatsoever. I'm going to take it to the basket, and he gets rewarded for that. But and one opportunity. Just you can't shy away from it, right? You got to embrace the contact. If you get blocked, so be it. You have to be aggressive.
It's one thing, CTA has absolutely dominated the glass.
No, it's just so much fun watching guys like Lualacott and Moonreath dribble the ball, and you see them. I mean, they've got a good package in terms of their ability to handle the ball and finish around the rim. It's just, those are things that you don't see from guys their size.
Jackson, entry pass to Novicic, turns the corner and runs into David Muya. Took a bit of a shot, looked at the official, no call. Taking the slow walk up the floor.
Tony House quietly conveying what needs to be done, and his team is executing it. Calm, cool, and collected on that sideline. His vocal, just his team's prepared.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe Tony House's style after listening to him, ooh, that's an over and back. All right. Listening to him on a couple of the mic'd up segments, it's not how loud he says things, it's what he says. Because, he has a good relationship with his team because, I mean, he's the head of that program, right? He's the founder of that program.
Absolutely.
So he brought these guys in. So he has guys that he wants, and he has them for a reason. But, I mean, he has no problem keeping these guys in line. And the way he does it, I mean, what he says, I mean, cuts like a knife. He doesn't have to stab you 15 times. Just one clean cut. And you get his message.
It resonates. The
Absolutely.
message resonates. Nice move.
All over the glass, CTA. Really like this officiating crew. We had a couple of them last night, and I like the way that they talk to the players. They make sure the players know that they hear them, but they also kind of politely let them know that they really are not interested in what they're saying. But they don't, turn the back away. And,
No, not being disrespectful towards anybody. The coaches, players, just kind of managing and controlling the game, and that's their job, to police the game.
Foul called. Roknich.
You see Coach Ahmed Al-Asta kind of surveying that bench. It's a short one. He's quick to make substitutions.
It is kind of odd to kind of look at a bench that doesn't have a lot of guys, but you talk to all these coaches, and outside of extreme foul trouble, I mean, every one of them I think would rather roll with 10 guys or less.
Totally.
Because you know, how do you have 12 to 15 guys? You're not going to be able to play them. How do you get them ready?
Oh, trust me. That's a conundrum. That's a difficult problem a difficult landscape to navigate. And if anything, you're having 12 to 15 guys so you can fund your program. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Aside from that, if you're gonna put a team together for the purpose of actually helping these kids and putting them in a position to excel, you're gonna stick to 10 or less. That's what you're looking for.
I guess you got to have some practice guys available to you though as well,
Sure,
right?
Sure, you want to have them at your disposal,
Yeah.
and that's you even in a setting you need to practice in a 5-on-5 situation.
Absolutely.
So, that's another thing when you run drills and you have the opportunity to practice again, your press break and things like that. That's huge.
Booyah. Crushing it home.
Yeah, right into your living room, two-handed flush.
Just over the midway point of this third quarter.
Yeah, the anticipation there.
Westgarth, a caught. Rips it. No good. Ooh, I know.
Moonreath was preparing to give us yet another highlight. Almost climbed the ladder there for a putback.
I swear he's longer than he was a month and a half ago when I saw him.
He's growing. He's got the green beans in him. It's got to be the water down there in the Ottawa area.
I'll tell you this, that Ottawa area, the basketball, the grassroots level up there, all the way up to the youth sports level, I mean, what they've been able to do, and I know we always talk about Toronto, but I don't know what else Ottawa has to do to kind of be put on the same platform as Toronto.
I think theoretically, I guess, maybe even geographically, they're a smaller market, but the same, I agree. That's that same consideration, the same attention needs to be directed towards Ottawa. And we've seen this whole narrative, even not to veer off, but you look at the whole narrative surrounding what's been going on with the Ottawa Senators. And
you know what? It's so funny that you went that. I was gonna listen to what you had to say. I don't mean to cut you off, but the next thing I was gonna say was, how about this as a pipe dream? Senators leave, head to Quebec because they need their hockey team back, and suddenly there's this giant, wide open stadium, arena, just waiting to be used, and you see, pro basketball in Ottawa, and you see, the filter down effect. I mean, it's just waiting there for the taking.
Yeah, using that as Mike Dotto nods his head and shakes his head in disapproval.
Dotto refuses to lose his Senators. Die-hard Sens fan right here.
I think you might have crossed the line, Jason. I think you might have crossed the line there. But
Die-hard. I mean, huge Alexei Yashin fan.
Dominic Hasek.
Daniel Alfredson.
Oh,
and the big one, were you okay after the Chris Neil retirement? I know you were a huge fan of Chris Neil and what he did for that franchise.
Danny Heatley was a beauty.
Battle of Ontario.
Oh, man. Yeah, Chris Neil lost quite a few chicklets back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, he had some great battles with Darcy Tucker, and I know the Chris Neil jersey hangs proudly in the men's den at the Dotto household.
Flanked by brother Nick.
This is textbook CTA right now. 2:52 to go. They pushed us to a 27-point lead. Stay with us. We'll be back to third quarter action when we return.
History has been made in Canadian basketball.
From the Maritimes to the nation's capital.
I just like the sound.
Brady Kanku My goodness.
to the 6,
Oh, big block there
to the Prairies,
by Jashawn Henry.
all the way to British Columbia. This is the NPA.
One hand jam! All over the defense. My Lord.
Goodness gracious. Campbell with the facial.
Oh! E-man. Defense to offense.
Cummins, that is
No
not
way.
the guy.
No way.
Cummins. Plus the foul.
Got the answer. Wow. That's another good one. There it is. Sammy Hunter.
AJ Lawson. Oh, my Lord.
And look at this. Danilo Jiricic ending his high school career with a dagger of a spike.
GTA Prep wisely feeding the hot hand. Oh, nice step back, cross through. And we got
58-32, Canada Top Flight Academy taking care of business, as they say. You know, started out a little slow, but I think we all expected the CTA we know. Uh-oh.
Oh my.
Well, on the baseline. Quick timeout. We'll be back after a short break.
Coverage featuring professional commentators and analysts.
Tip in. No good. 2 seconds to go.
Ro Russell is best known as one of the founding fathers of the Canadian AAU scene. Now he is building something new, a boys and girls basketball program at Crestwood Preparatory College, a private school that can provide resources to both their coach and their players.
It's a great job. We have great resources, great support systems, and it's very, it's structured. I can be here and do my thing for the next 10, 20 years and just, keep on doing what we're doing and keep being successful.
Looks like Branko Damjanovic is okay. Over on the bench there, stretching it out.
You hate to see a slip like that.
It's basketball, the time is the winter time. And it's so difficult to consistently make sure that what lives outdoors doesn't somehow make it indoors. Damjanovic checks back in.
Looks like he's good to go. And you see SJK now trying to at least just disrupt some sort of rhythm with this 1-3-1, but he executed beautifully there and a layup.
SJK just has not been able to consistently get it going on offense, and the problem when you're playing a team as skilled as CTA is to find to work the way you do to try to get points on offense, and then they work to get your points on offense past their defense and then get back, and it's like CTA always has enough energy to run it right back down your throat one way or another. I mean, there's absolutely no possessions off against this team, and I guess that's what you'd expect from a national championship squad.
Absolutely, and they're so deep that you see guys coming in with fresh legs and even just and they're able to sustain this pace at this level of productivity when, to your point, it seemed like SJK, they're working twice as hard to get a bucket, and then they gotta find a way to come down the floor and defend. And it's an uphill battle, that's for sure. It's tough to, this is why they're at that level.
burn any possessions against a team like this. You know, you don't want to waste any possessions, obviously, but especially when you're taking on a team like CTA, it's just... And I mean, a guy like Atik Jalal, I mean, they just added this guy, and it's like they just morph into the CTA mold, right?
It's like the San Antonio Spurs model,
you know,
right?
you
buy in. If you're in, you're in. If you're a part of our system and you buy in and you fit the mold, you're gonna excel.
Yeah.
Right? And look how many careers Greg Popovich has resurrected, and guys who are thought to be washed up and gone. And
Boris Diaw.
Boris Diaw, heck, David Lee last year.
Yep.
I mean, you saw guys who returned and played championship caliber basketball. It's just incredible. CTA taking care of business. They're up and running. Our first game of the week.
Yeah, we've had such high-level basketball, and then we bring in two squads that are playing their first game of this.
And there's a squad like Crestwood that's played 4 games already.
But I mean, it's a weird wrinkle in the schedule due to previous schedules, but at the same time, it's great for the viewership. It's great for people to watch because, just as a team is running out of gas, you have two teams that are brand new, fresh, coming in.
It provides a bit of relief in the schedule, and gives an opportunity for teams with fresh legs to come in, and now they're going to play, a slate of games that they're going to come with a rejuvenated level of intensity, and so it provides a bit of a relief to, you might suffer a bit of a lull, right, at times. So.
Yep.
Ooh, a bit of a push off there.
A little bit.
The officials let it slide.
28-point lead for the defending champs. Fourth quarter action when we return on NorthPoleHoops.com.
My name is Lowell Acott, and I'm mic'd up for North Pole Hoops. Hey.
From the coaching staff to you guys, have the same intensity, same emotion, same enthusiasm as it is to stop someone, as it is to score.
All right, let's go, man. Start on defense.
Ready for them, their press.
Hot threes, boy. Go. Yo, deal. Zo. Yo, my man's right here. Aiden. We never switched. I switched with Atik. I had him the whole time.
I gotta keep getting.
Come on.
Hey, that's disgusting communication. Disgusting.
Hold on. Shout out CTA, man. Sky Blue.
Yes! Let's go!
Hit that. Let's go. Yo, put it in. Yo, diamond. Oh, yeah!
Whoa! You see what they've done?
Yeah.
They've outplayed your asses. Outplayed you. I shouldn't even bother to put you guys on. All right, but I'll put the prima donnas on, and we'll see what you guys can do. All right?
Yeah! Shout out to Coach Tony, man. Shout out to Coach Will. Shout out to Coach Alain. Shout out to Coach Manu. JD!
There you go. CTA dipping into their bench. Ali White.
It seems like we had Tristan get taken away from us. You see him there on the SJK bench, providing some support, cleaning up some wet spots. I'll tell you what, talk about depth, but CTA, number 31, Ankit Barry, here's a kid who played significant minutes last year for Thorn Lee, was a fantastic playmaker. He's coming off the bench here in the third quarter, late in the third, now into the fourth. And this team is ridiculously deep, laden with talent.
Chowdhury. White loses it. Body's hitting the floor. Moon Reese finds himself back there on the floor. A 27-point lead.
He can elevate and just see above the defense, and that's a luxury. I mean, he sees, his vision is, you know, it's not just what's in front of you. He's able to see everything behind and down the floor, and makes a good read there, good delivery on the pass.
Back out. Luella caught. Offensive rebound by White. Novicic doing what you'd expect him to do with the size that he has.
You know, CTA, a team that, I mean, you watch them play, they're just, it's the system that's also making it that much more successful. It's the style of play, it's the brand of basketball that, you know, really is conducive to the skill set of these players, and Tony House deserves credit for that. And like we touched upon, as the founder, as the creator of this program, he knew it's whether he's molded his system around the players or vice versa, it's worked, and he's found a recipe for success.
He's not been able to get it going offensively, but I mean, you could probably say that for the entire SJK squad, as they're sitting here with 36 points here in the fourth quarter.
That's another thing. CTA defensively, it's been a stalemate. I mean, they've really made it difficult for SJK to get anything going. And I like to see when teams take pride in their defense. You can see when, even as simple as, you know, we saw with Moonreath, commits a turnover, comes back, makes a block, a tremendous block on, you know, his own end of the floor. When guys take pride in playing defense and atoning for mistakes, that's when you know your character and your team, the personality, the identity is on point. That's where you want it to be.
Not going to be able to make that pass. Novicic, big man bringing it up.
Oh, good hard screen.
Back out. Count it. Nice ball movement. DeAndre Fordyce. Three and a half gone here in the fourth. Tough basket, Chowdhury.
That boy, he can play. It's going to take some time, and I'm sure he's still getting acclimated. It's his first year with CTA. You know, there's a learning curve. I think anytime you're making the transition and you're coming to a different league, a different organization, and going into a different system, it's going to take some time. But there's one thing for sure, and you see, I mean, he can play. He can get up and down the floor. And you're going to earn more minutes by playing defense. You're going to get up and be aggressive and try to apply pressure on the ball. There's a turnover. Steps on the end line.
Pass up over the top. Fordyce run off the Novicic screen. Omino. Novicic. No good.
block. Good move along the baseline. How about that block?
Roknic. Good thing he got a piece of that ball going up.
Well, we could have had our second poster of the day.
Absolutely.
And a platoon swap, it appears, coming for CTA. Nice pass.
Novicic. Off the dime from DeAndre Fordyce. Hockey line change.
Full swap. You got your 2 defensemen and your 3 forwards coming out. And obviously, I mean, the pace has slowed substantially, but at the same time, I think this is, CTA is gonna, they might put you to sleep, but I mean, they have, again, systematically, it's been a clinic that they've put on, keeping SJK down to 43 points with less than 5 minutes remaining, here in this contest. One of the best defensive performances I think we've seen throughout the week.
Cross-court pass. Shovel pass is picked off. Westgarth kicked back out. Ricky Ule, my apologies. Muya gets bumped by Novicic. No call.
We talked about, earlier today, we talked about the ball finding energy. CTA move the ball with 0 hesitation. The ball moves, it finds the open man, then it finds the extra pass, and then it results in high percentage plays. And that's a byproduct of coaching, having the right personnel, having guys that understand, this is what it takes to be, 1, to be a championship level team, and 2, to play at the next level.
How do you scout this team? You know what I mean? Like, I don't, like, what do you play out for your team and then turn to them and say, okay, now this is how we're going to defend that? How we're, like, maybe defending is a little bit easier to explain than, like, this is how we're going to score on it.
I don't know. I mean, offensively or defensively, we'll start defensively. Rhythm and timing are so important and so critical to a lot of teams, and for a group like CTA that, they've been involved in running a lot of comprehensive, sophisticated sets and really going through and trying to hit different options, and maybe you have to disrupt their rhythm somehow. You're also combating with the size. There's one thing that I don't think we've seen a lot of in this game. The shooting ability from a lot of these guys. Obviously, they're, the Lual Lacotte and the Moonreaths, and these are guys that are doing a fantastic job getting into the lane and slashing and cutting and making the extra pass and finishing at the bucket. But you question, you say, okay, maybe, we'll see you experiment, maybe you throw different looks, maybe you press, maybe you get a team that's longer, like a Central Tech, that they're going to see later on, and maybe they're coming out and they're giving you a variety of looks, just trying to keep you honest, right? Trying to keep you honest. And offensively, man, I think you tell your kids, you say, okay, listen, understand that we're going up against a team that has a lot of length. They're going to block shots. They're going to make plays. We just need to keep playing. Can't let it discourage us or deter us, and got to be resilient, continue to battle. Tristan's on mop duty, and he's doing a fantastic job as the official asks for some assistance along the baseline.
Under 3 minutes to go. Leads down to 21. I think the biggest thing is the fact that, SJK is still sitting at 45 points.
A defensive clinic. Positioning, rotations. It's pretty nice when you have the actual, the size and the length to, you see teams that they feel like it's a luxury. Some teams, when they get a guy who's 6'7", 6'8", and can just be agile enough to make it up and down the floor, and the CTA team then comes at you, and you're seeing those same guys making ridiculous plays in space, and that's what makes them so difficult to match up against.
Warnholtz. Tosses it out of bounds. Reminder, we got one more game after this. Toronto Basketball Academy taking on the London Basketball Academy. TBA, LBA, two of the top teams in this league. But first, we got to finish this one up. 2:24 to go. We'll be back with the finale after this.
Hey. Hit that, boy.
Woo! Sprint back. We don't do the tip. We don't do the jamming. Sprint back. Transition D's. Load up. I don't care who we play.
Nice pass. Hit that. Yeah! Go! Come on, boy.
Come in. Hey, man.
He's too big! He's too big! Yo, let's get a lob. Move.
Shadow dang, Malou, dang, a Malou.
Shoot that!
No.
Oh yeah! Body game!
Back to live game action. He didn't miss a thing.
Oh, and another slip in there along the baseline. Aiden Jackson, we've seen that a few times in this one. Well, Jason, coming up, we get to see the electrifying Denzel Cummins back in action, and he put on quite the show yesterday. Couldn't come out with the victory, but still nonetheless an impressive showing, and we'll see if they can get into the win column against the TBA team that went 2-0 yesterday. Ahmed El Osta. You see him animated, shaking his head. He's still in it. He's still fighting and battling and encouraging his team. There's a foul underneath. One of the more vocal, demanding coaches I've seen, especially in game.
Novicic, pure.
Just space out, clear out, and see if he's going to attack it. Good read. Short. To me, having Aiden Jackson come off the bench, I think that's a luxury to have for Ahmed El Asta. He certainly made an impact.
Omino from downtown.
Making it look respectable. 13-point deficit, final minute of play. And what once was a near 30-point lead for CTA.
It's a hard foul this late in the game.
The final score won't look nearly as convincing as this one was for CTA. I mean, they came in, it took them a while to find their footing, but once they did, there was no looking back and held SJK down around that 40-point mark up until midway, if not more, through the fourth quarter. So all around a solid performance, and now just trying to close it out with some free throws here in the final minute.
Bench ready to shoot. Sasha Kovacs from downtown.
Yeah, he's got to be their sharpshooter. You can see just coming out in rhythm.
Ready to go.
They run that set, catch and shoot, and he drills it. Although they're going to come up short, I mean, if you think about, obviously, CTA was able to go with more of a operate with the platoon system. They're 1-0. They get the win, and that's all that matters.
Got one more to go. Toronto Basketball Academy and the London Basketball Academy up next. Stay tuned. The finale, day 2 of 4.